What's good, everybody? Let's get the show started. What's up, everybody? How you doing? How you living? How are you feeling? It's your boy Marcus Summers, Major Linux, twitch.tv/Major Linux, and it's time once again for another episode of Tech Talk today for June 13th, 24. Sorry, I'm looking at some logs. I just updated the Twitch bot. I don't know. It seems like there's an error here. Not entirely sure what the error means. Hopefully the bot will still work. I'm not sure what functionality I'm missing here. What I need to do for this version of the bot, but I decided I'd check and see if there was an update. There was an update, so I updated it while everything was going on. The quotes still work, so that's good. But yeah, I wonder if it will finally fix the thing. But then I think I actively typed in the wrong one, so hopefully not. Hopefully we'll still have status in game. But with all that being said, we've got some tech and gaming news to get through. Still some more labor stuff that is happening. More acquisitions are happening. And yet again, your boy Musky Musk is in the news because he just can't seem to get that, he is not God's gift to the world, as much as people would like to think he is, especially himself. Programming note for today. This will be yet another news only stream because I have things to do again today. There are still things that are getting punted to the next day. On top of the fact that I do have class tomorrow, so I have some reading to do. I've got some videos to watch to get ready for class. Also, I have to get ready for the show tonight. Again, Tech Talk Thursdays, the weekly show where me and my two wonderful, amazing co-hosts, Kev and Sin, join, and we talk about the week's biggest tech stories according to us. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That's 8:00 p.m. Eastern here on this channel. And my HomePod was saying things. I don't know what it said. I don't know what it thought it heard I say for it to want to talk. But it did. It heard things. It said things. And now we're just all here in this weird area. Let's see here. Anything else I would like to bring to the table? Not really. I don't know. Maybe because of the fact that I do have class on Friday, which means I won't be driving. Maybe I'll stream for a bit. Maybe I will finally bring those games to you. Seeing as that the only thing I have, well, no, because you know what? There may not be a, hey, I'm going to play the games offline and then we'll talk about them at a future date. Maybe I'll just play those games on stream Friday, because it doesn't seem like I will play them on my Steam Deck. I don't know what it is. And I think it's still because of the fact that every so often I get upset that I cannot play Horizon on my Steam Deck and I have to remote into my PC. It's like, I just don't feel like dealing with that today. And I don't play on my Steam Deck. I'll sit there and just play solitaire on my iPad until I feel sleepy and then fall asleep on the couch. Oh, wait, there is something else. Because it's off frame, because I think I moved the camera. That could explain some things. Maybe also, yeah, what is that? What is this? Oh, that's the TV. That would also probably explain why I seem like I've been off center for a bit. My camera moved. I don't know why. But anywho, I have a fakely. My wife's new job. She works at UNC Health. They gave her this fake Stanley Cup for joining the team, for joining the company. And it'd be great and all if she actually did not get a real Stanley from her previous coworkers at her last job. So this is mine. This is now mine. The fake Lee is mine while the Stanley is hers, because, you know, I ain't buying Stanley. She technically didn't either. But even if it wasn't my money, I don't know if I would be okay be drinking out of a Stanley cup for reasons. Even though there is definitely a Red Hat thermos behind me. You can see it. It's like right there. Oh, it's right there. And that I did buy with my money. But that was before. That was in the before time. But yes, I have this Fakely cup. It is not metal. It is clearly a plastic, a very, very not metal surface. Even though it sounds kind of metal, I don't think it is metal. But it does keep my beverage cold. Holds quite a bit more water than anything I've had previously. So I'm excited about that. Also, it seems like my ice machine wants to work on my refrigerator. So, hey, we'll have good non-manually made ice to put in our cups in the future. But with all that being said, I'm tired of looking at these logs. It's time to look at some news. Let's get into it. First off, in tech news, Sony buys Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. Of course, Alamo Drafthouse was being held by a what are those things called? I forgot what those companies are called. Maybe it's down here, like those investment. Yes. Sony is acquiring Alamo Drafthouse from the Altamont Capital Partners Fortress Investment Group and Alamo founder Tim League, a group that took ownership of Alamo after it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2021. That's right, just like almost every other movie theater on the planet in 2020 fell on some hard times. But of course, private equity. That's what I was thinking of. These private equity groups did kind of come through and pick up a lot of these companies because they were just looking for investments, I guess, and things were really, really cheap because, you know, nobody was going to them. So, yep, this private equity group kind of propped up Alamo Drafthouse, kind of kept it afloat during the pandemic until everybody was able to, until President Biden and the World Health Organization deemed the pandemic over and people safely walked out of their houses and tried to resume normal lives. And even then, I still don't even think that people are back to normal. I know I'm not personally. I may walk around, I may still do things without a mask, but still, there are things where it's like, nope, there are too many people in the confined space. I'm going to pull my mask out just to give me the illusion of privacy or personal space. Elena, hi, we are looking for more staff. That's unfortunate. I have no staff to give you, Elena. I should tell them that. You know, also, this came from 2 places. How? Yeah, did I get 2 messages on Telegram? No, they sent 2 messages in one, but the notification looked different. So I don't have any staff. Let's see here. Sony's acquisition is particularly notable given that it's happening after the 2020 termination of the Paramount consent decrees. The decrees resulting from a 1948 Supreme Court decision forced movie companies to sell the theaters they own to spur competition and create consumer choice. With so many ways for viewers to see films, nowadays the decree was reversed by the Department of Justice. Since then, Sony isn't the only movie distributor that has purchased theaters. Netflix has cinemas in New York and Los Angeles. I did not know that. I did not know this was a whole thing, but I guess this is, well, yeah, I guess this is the reason why, like, you're able to go to different places and see different movies from different people. I thought that was just a thing that people do. I did not know there was a law that said that's what they had to do. The one big notable, I mean, outside of, hey, here's another acquisition of things. One, like, Alamo Drafthouse, was this legendary thing that certain people had access to in various parts of the country. It was not, Alamo Drafthouses were not, a huge chain of movie theaters, right? Raleigh got one a few years ago. And that was pretty cool. I'd never been to one. Went to one. So, oh man, this is actually a pretty cool experience. Cool. Like two things that concern me about this acquisition. One is, will the Alamo Drafthouse still be the Alamo Drafthouse, even though Sony Pictures has said that, hey, or Sony has said, hey, look and feel of Alamo Drafthouse will still be the same. Our lie detector test determined that to be a lie. That probably will not happen. There will be changes, but it'll be so small, so gradual that you wouldn't notice that, wait, Alamo Drafthouse isn't the same Alamo Drafthouse as it was pre-pandemic. Outside of like COVID regulations and stuff like that. The other thing that gives me pause about this is the fact that, shout out to More Perfect Union. They did a piece talking about the Alamo Drafthouse employees in Colorado who are looking to unionize. And while when we look at this from a gaming perspective, Microsoft has been very cool about people unionizing. Like in that gaming space, I don't know what it looks like elsewhere. On their vast portfolio of companies and products that they offer at Microsoft. Sony, on the other hand, or like at least I've not heard of any Sony-based studios trying to do it. I'm pretty sure there are people within those companies, probably within Insomniac, Naughty Dog, what have you, who are trying to do some type of union work, some type of organizing. I have not heard anything, or at least I don't remember anything. So it's hard to kind of gauge what Sony's perspective on unionization is on any part of its, like, again, product portfolio of the companies that they own. I mean, they could be like Samsung, where, their Samsung Electronics apparently has a union. Does any part of Sony that I am just not aware of have a union? It'd be good to hear. It would be good to kind of hear what Sony's take is on these companies trying to form a union, and the fact that also the Samsung union is in Korea, not in the States. And I believe that whoever is in charge, like, of any type of Samsung division that's in the States, they're probably being run by management in the States. And they probably have a different view on unions than maybe what's viewed in Japan. I don't know what Japan's views are of unions as of late. But I know here in America, especially those who are in charge, they tend to not like unions. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. Again, still not really a big fan of it. But I know, like, just with the private equity stuff, when it comes to that union that More Perfect Union was talking about, it was, not great, as is almost every union forming in the United States. Big news coming out of Tile, because, everybody always likes to focus on the Apple AirTags and never Tile. Never, ever, ever, ever Tile. Even though all the bad shit you hear about the AirTag is probably happening and much worse on Tile. This is a thing that, hey, hoping that Apple security is a lot stronger than Life 360 and Tiles, but this shit is happening on fucking Tile and not on Apple AirTags. So fuck off on the Apple AirTags. A hacker has gained access to Life 360 internal tool used for responding to law enforcement requests. that has allowed the hacker to steal tile tracker IDs and customer information. As far as I'm concerned, such a tool, I mean, granted, Apple is a secretive company. We don't know. There's not been any investigations or any documentation, anything to suggest that Apple does or does not have a similar tool. But operating off of the information we have now, Apple does not have a tool that allows the police to just get information about people and their AirTags. You still have to share that with law enforcement. Personally, hey, somebody stole my thing. Here's the AirTag where it is. Can you help me find it? Not, hey, we need to know where a thing is. Tile, tell us. We'll circumvent the customer. A hacker breached the systems behind Tile device trackers and stole customer data, including names, addresses, emails, and phone numbers. According to reporting from 404 Media, the hacker was able to collect customer information by accessing a tool made for responding to law enforcement requests about Tile trackers. The stolen information did not include precise Tile location data. Life360, which owns Tile, published a statement by CEO Chris Holes acknowledging the hack. Holes confirmed the data included Tile tracker IDs and said that the hacker had attempted to extort Life360 and that the company reported it to law enforcement. Why would they need to report it? They can just say, hey, somebody's using your tool, law enforcement. Go get them. Go get them. In an email to The Verge, Holes wrote, "From what I gather, very little was accessed. Holes did not respond to a question about whether the company would contact affected customers. Quote, we are continuing to work with law enforcement on the matter and have no other updates at this time." Life360 representative Christy Kalura told The Verge in another email, quote, "What is seen is the excerpted? Why? What is that word? Screenshot from 404 Media is a single step for Life360 personnel to initiate a request to respond to law enforcement requests for Tile user data. The hacker reportedly gained access using login credentials supposedly belonging to a former Tile employee. 404 Media was provided screenshots by the hacker indicating they had access to various internal tools designed to transfer ownership of a Tile tracker, add admin accounts, and send messages to Tile users. Okay, so apparently this is not a tool that is being used by law enforcement directly, but is a tool that's part of the process for responding to law enforcement requests. Still going to say, hey, police should not have this information. Like, this should they come directly from the user, work with the user. The company who is selling me the tag should not have access to know where my shit is. Like, I'm sorry, that's never a good thing. Again, who knows that that's how Apple works too. I would like to think it doesn't. I don't have any evidence to the contrary, but again, like, if the police can get access to information that I necessarily have not given them myself, like, that just means like, hey, we obtained this warrant and we want you to tell us, we want you to tell us where this Tile tracker is. Yeah, that's not great. Again, still want to point out that this is something Apple does not do. At least not that anybody is aware of. So, hey, maybe instead of instead of these people, I mean, instead of like news outlets sensationalizing, oh no, like, again, which is a bad thing. Like, bad person is using AirTag to track people and just always harping on the fact that it's an AirTag. How about we focus on the fact that that's what we know is happening? We are aware that there are random AirTags that are just sitting around and we can detect them, we can find them, we can report them. That's something you could not do with Tile. So it's like, yeah, for people to be like, oh no, look at what they're doing with AirTags. Like, well, you're only saying that because we found them. Imagine all the Tile trackers we haven't found. And they're I wouldn't say there are more people who are using Tile than AirTags, or the fact that there are more ways, like it's easier to track tile than an AirTag. And actually, you know what? There may be more people who are using tile than AirTags, right? But I will concede the point that even if you're not using an AirTag, your iPhone is being used to track an AirTag, which makes it a little bit more accurate. But also the thing is, what I will say with this is, the iPhone can also find the AirTag. If you don't have, like, even if you have the Tile app on your phone, whether it's Android or iPhone, it still won't tell you, hey, there is a Tile tracker just moving with you, like like your iPhone would, and now Android. As far as I'm concerned, Tile isn't a part of this whole thing with Google and Android working with like their trackers to say, hey, you can detect the other on the other device and what and all that, right? Like it's not a part of that open standard. So yeah. How about we celebrate the fact that we found AirTags and sit there and look at Life 360, look at Tile and say, when can we be able to detect, or when will we be able to detect your Tile trackers when they don't belong to us? When will you stop feeding our information to cops? Like, let's focus on that. Okay, cool. We have an understanding now that's what we're going to do. We're going to stop focusing on how terrible AirTags are and focus on the fact that we can't find Tile trackers. Cool. We're good. We're on our understanding now. All right, cool. Let's move on. Fired SpaceX workers sue Elon Musk for sexual harassment and retaliation. The lawsuit filed in California state court claims Musk purposefully created an unwelcome, hostile work environment at SpaceX. 8 former SpaceX engineers filed a lawsuit against Elon Musk on Wednesday alleging sexual harassment and retaliation. Musk, who founded SpaceX in 2002, knowingly and purposely created an unwelcome, hostile work environment based upon his conduct of interjecting into workplace file sexual photographs, memes, and commentary that demeaned women and or the LGBTQ plus community. The complaint, which cites many of Musk's Twitter posts making sexually explicit jokes, claims that Musk fostered a perversely sexist culture at SpaceX. Several of the plaintiffs say they experienced direct harassment that mimicked Musk's posts. According to the suit, senior engineers often use phallic language during technical meetings, referring to mechanical parts as chodes and schlongs. I'm sorry. See, this helps inform me the type of company that I keep, right? Where I only hear about chodes and schlongs when referring to very terrible white men. Like, I don't hear these words often, and when I do, it just seems like, yo, what the fuck? What fucking early 2000s, late 90s bullshit are these people saying? Like, did he say these in 2002? And this is not me belittling the lawsuit. It's like me just belittling Musk. Like, dude, this is what you and your engineers talk about? Like, using terribly dated and just weird fucking words? I mean, not to say also that I condone this type of language, but it's like, yo, if you're going to use it, like, was there nothing updated you could use? Or are you just stuck in fucking early internet culture, bro? Like, what the fuck, man? It was also common for engineers to apply crude and demeaning names to products in an attempt at humor, often at the expense of women and LGBTQ individuals. For example, the name Upskirt Camera was used for a camera on the first stage of the Falcon rocket that views the bottom of the second stage. The complaint also cites a video starring SpaceX's upper management, including Vice President of Human Resources Brian Bjeldi, I don't give a fuck about your name because I know what's coming next. President and CEO Gwen Shotwell. Wait, that name sounds familiar. And Elon Musk that mocks and makes light of sexual misconduct and banter. So now please tell me this name sounds familiar, right? I feel like I have read this individual's name before. Oh boy. Okay, if I heard her name before, it's being buried because now it's just talking about, hey, this is the woman that runs SpaceX. And like these are like the fact that Business Insider wrote this 3 hours ago, like, hey, this is the woman who runs SpaceX, amongst all of the allegations that Elon Musk is a terrible human being to women at SpaceX. But see, he has a woman that's running it. He can't be that bad. He likes women. Women run his company. Look at Linda Yaccarino. It's like, so you mean to tell me he's finding women to run his companies at times when he's being a shitty person and needs a woman to point to at the top of his company? Say, see, I can't be this bad. It's like pointing to a black person and saying that's my black friend when you're accused of being racist. But also I forgot who it was. I'm mistaking Gwen Shotwell with the individual who was like, hey, he needs his pay pack. Elon Musk needs his pay package to stay motivated. I was like, no, boo-boo. No, boo-boo. No. You sweet summer child. No. The former employees who were also pursuing a National Labor Relations Board complaint against SpaceX collaborated on an open letter in 2022 that raised concerns about Musk's behavior and broader company culture at SpaceX. The employees were subsequently fired, and their lawsuit alleges the order to terminate them came from Musk himself. Per Bloomberg, after a human resources official suggested SpaceX conduct an investigation, Musk replied, "I don't care, fire them." After the letter was published, Shotwell emailed two of the letter writers telling them to stop flooding employees' communications channels immediately. Shotwell later sent a company-wide email with the subject line, "Please stay focused on the SpaceX mission," in which he called the open letter overreaching activism and stated that we performed an investigation and have terminated a number of employees involved. Oh, I remember we covering this. I definitely remember us covering this on Tech Talk Thursdays. Whew. Again, it's good to have water here, but yeah, like I would say, like, this does not look good. That is obvious. It's like I can't overstate the obvious anymore than I'm pretty sure everybody else has. This man is a terrible human being. He is a toxic individual. And it says a lot about American culture and how like American companies are being run, how the ruling class just does things in general. Whereas like you have clear documentation, evidence, not just from people who were suing him, not just from federal investigations, but from the man's mouth and fingers. Cause he's just like a younger fucking Donald Trump who fucking just says weird ass shit and types weird shit on social media that is clearly pointing to him being like the worst person on the planet. Yet the ruling class and those who fucking think they have a shot at being a part of the ruling class and will therefore cheer on these individuals sit there and think that because of the fact that he is bringing in so much money that he must be like just some genius. I'm going to tell you something. This man is no genius. He is not smart. He is a fucking trust fund baby who is a product of South American apartheid, who thinks that he could just sit there and go wherever he wants and do whatever he wants because of the fact that he just has money. And because he's a part of the ruling class, nobody is willing to hold this man to account. Nobody. And this is sad, like what he is doing to this country, to the people, to the working class folks in this country is criminal. The fact that they are allowing him to still operate these companies, to still just walk around and do the shit that he does on an everyday basis is fucking criminal. But because of the fact that we're a capitalist system, he brings in money, he brings in revenue, he's supporting the US government with their space projects. We can't fucking touch this man. He's too connected. And it's like you sit there and like you watch these cop TV shows and you get to those episodes where it's like, oh no, we can't touch this guy. He's too connected with the community. It's like, you know he's doing illegal shit, but it's like, he's too connected. Every time we try to arrest him, his lawyers put him out and they sue us and we cost the city money and we can't bring him down. This is what this looks like in real life. Except like, I don't know if there are cops. I don't know if there are individuals who are trying to bring this man down. I know that there are actual advocacy groups, there are watchdog groups who are trying to not even trying, they are sounding the alarm bells like, hey, shit ain't right here. We need to do something about this before it gets out of hand. But of course, the ruling class is like, come on, he's too connected. He's bringing in money. Like if we sit there and do this to him, I forgot. There is definitely one individual who is suffering the consequences of his actions, who has been saying almost from the jump, like, oh no, they're prosecuting me. They're doing all these things to me. Imagine if they did this to, like, they'll do this to me. They'll do this to you. It's like, well, yes, if you break the law, that is what law enforcement is supposed to do. At least that's what they bill themselves as supposed to be doing. But of course, they also look at individuals who are not breaking the law, but because the fact that it makes people feel a way, they tend to, go after people who are obeying the law. But yeah, like this has to stop. What is happening right now with this man and like all of the things that, come out about him, like, it has to stop. That sounds like retaliation and is definitely illegal. I mean, it is definitely illegal. All of the things he is doing is illegal. But again, because he is a part of the ruling class, he's a part of the rich elite. They will not do anything. His tentacles are all in the government, like the people who are supposed to be holding him accountable. But again, when you are actively suing the NLRB, when you're providing rockets to fucking NASA because NASA themselves can't afford it. I mean, shit, imagine if we weren't going to war in countless countries and we take that money, not only for education, not only for healthcare, not only for housing, but we also sit there and invest that in the space, in space exploration. Imagine what that looks like, right? I'm gonna have to go to that. Check that out. Sorry, looking at notifications for things, gotta keep my education on. But yeah, like imagine if more people who are part of the ruling class of this country or the ruling class of the world actually met with the consequences. Like the only reason why I feel like the only reason why Donald Trump got hit with whatever he got is because he ain't as high up as he thought he was. And the ruling class knows that. Like the president of the free world is not, or shit, the free world. Yeah, fuck that shit. The president of the United States is not as high up as, people think it is. There are people definitely above them pulling the strings. And yeah, Donald Trump getting what was coming to him was definitely like, okay, we have to evaluate. Yeah, we're doing some fucked up shit. He ain't where we at. So we can let him go. We can cut him loose. I honestly do not think, you know what? I'd be hard pressed to sit there and say that he will get elected. I don't, because again, looking at how the GOP is trying to make this more like a theocracy than anything else. I don't think the ruling class wants that. I honestly do not think they want that. They do not want that kind of rule. And again, it goes against the ebb and flow of how American politics works. I really feel like, it's gonna go the way the Democrats want. Biden will probably win a second term in office. The Democrats will probably be in a certain way. But again, it's just the whole thing of everybody crying victimhood because, oh no, things aren't going the way we want, just to keep people warring. And because if Donald Trump loses, yeah, there's a lot of ignorant people with guns who will sit there and show up and sit there and try to do civil war. And boy, that will definitely just tear everything asunder, wouldn't it? And there are definitely some other things I think too, but we're gonna keep that silent. We'll keep that silent. Because as much as you want to sit there and blame Russia for things, yeah, I think all that shit's happening in house. I don't like that version of the future. Wait, which one? Because if we keep going the way we're going, I mean, unless we fucking burn it down, the Civil War one. Oh, that look, unless we are ready to burn the shit down and build this over from scratch and sit there and, hold the ruling class accountable for their actions and how we got to this point now. Oh, that's going to happen. I feel like that's going to happen. We've gotten to a point where the ruling class has somewhat lost control of the plot. They've lost control of the story. And they're doing a lot of, I feel like they're scrambling behind the scenes and shit to try to balance the scales here. I don't think there's going to be a Project 2025. I don't, because whoever wrote that, the Heritage Foundation, they ain't in control like they think they are. It might be inevitable, but I still don't like it. I mean, yeah, I guess if there's a revolution, I guess there technically would be maybe a civil war in that too. But I would like once we win, I would like to sit there point at it as no, this was a revolutionary war. This was the second American Revolution. So yeah, that's how I would like to see it. But yeah, again, this is also the man that Tesla board members want to give $50 million to. Was it 50 billion? I forget what the number is, but an godly amount of money for being a terrible, disgusting human being to quote unquote keep him focused. Yeah, no, the only way you keep him focused is if you take away Twitter from him. Remove him from the company, delete the app from his phone, make sure he can get nowhere near San Francisco, send those NVIDIA chips back to Tesla. Yeah. No, thank you. But speaking of Twitter, and speaking of women who are in charge of companies that are doing terrible things, Linda Yaccarino is in the news. Twitter all hands leave staff with few answers on delayed promotions. I swear, you have to really, really, really love Twitter to still work at Twitter, given what the fuck is going on. But then again, too, you were probably a part of that Jack Dorsey bullshit of, yeah, we're just going to say whatever we want. Oh, by the way, Jack Dorsey's voice has changed since he's taken this whole libertarian stance. During an internal all-hands meeting led by Linda Yaccarino of CEO of Twitter on Wednesday, concerned employees tuned in to hear if she would address the pressing issue on their minds: performance reviews. Y'all like performance reviews? I hate performance reviews. Don't review me. Just let me do my work. Like, that's what, if I ever had a coworker say, oh my God, I cannot wait for my performance review. Like, yeah, no, just no, go away. You're not my friend anymore. Sources inside the company confirmed that our promotions process was recently delayed without explanation and that X's sales team doesn't expect to meet its revenue targets for the quarter. Well, yeah, because who wants to advertise on a platform that is just filled with fucking porn and racism? Like, I mean, I would submit for one of them, but not both. Casinos, I guess, but again, for the porn, not for the racism. Given how the company formerly called Twitter has continued to struggle under Elon Musk's ownership, employees have been bracing for more layoffs. Can I talk about this ad I just got loading into the street? Sure. I did not. Yeah, I guess Twitch is still going to do its thing, even though I'm not actively running ads. What ad was it? I guess while Ionize is describing the ad. One of Musk's key lieutenants, the Boring Company CEO Steve Davis, has been reviewing finances at Twitter's headquarters in San Francisco over the past several weeks. According to multiple employees who requested anonymity to speak without the company's permission, as one of them described Davis, he's the Grim Reaper who only shows up for bad things. So it's an ad for Interact, which is a thing that every bank in Canada does. So it's basically just an ad for bank accounts. So do you have a bank account? You can use it to pay for things and accept payments. That sounds like Zelle. That sounds like Zelle here in America. Yeah, that sounds like Zelle. Wait, let's see. Can I do something here? I'm gonna click this and I'm gonna see what it does. There we go. Hooray, I am now first. It should be up there with a PSA that just says try not to die. Well, hopefully for a month, Ionized, you will not have to see ads. The meeting began with a montage of viral tweets, including one by infamous GameStop trader Keith Gill, followed by Yaccarino joining from a Twitter conference room named Extraordinary. This company stinks! She tried to drum up excitement about live events on the platform such as the Super Bowl and March Madness and urged employees to discuss Musk's XAI chatbot Grok with advertisers. She also emphasized that Twitter's focus on video is definitely driving advertisement without elaborating. Yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna keep it a band and a buck with folks, especially those who are working at Twitter. Yeah, y'all about to get fired. That company ain't bringing in no money. Musk ain't got no money. because they won't give him his little pay dividend thing, his little pay package over at Twitter, because again, that company's failing. Like the only, I feel like, good company he has is SpaceX, and that's because it's being subsidized by the government, and also is actually offering a decent service with Starlink, which again would also be shitty, or will probably go out once ISPs get off of their fucking asses and start investing in infrastructure for rural communities in the US. Let's see, as the meeting continued, Twitter's head of HR, Walter Gilbert, told staff that Twitter is planning to implement a broader and more robust promotion process that will include doing lighter weight check-ins throughout the year. One source who watched the meeting quipped that a bulk of the submitted employee questions were definitely about HR, promotions, raises, equity, and not addressed. Yeah, because nobody, like saying like Musk wasn't on the call even though he was in San Francisco. Yeah, nobody want to see fucking Musk. He don't want to see y'all because he know y'all mad at him. You like astronomy? We don't. Starlink. How would you like your farms just destroyed with space junk? Because that's awesome. You have the farm, we'll bring the U-Haul. But yeah, it's again, like, here's like, we're still having reports like this too, where it's like almost everything that Musk touches turns into shit. Or has shit following you from the sky. And again, he's just like, to some people, this just this brilliant genius. It's like, how is it like after you see things like this, like you sit there and say that he's like some genius, and it's like, sure, while he'll put Linda Yaccarino in front and center, say, yes, I will speak to you as the CEO of the company. Hey, yo. Bringing in all these other subs, gifting other subs to other people. That way none of us will have to deal with ads. Gang. That's what I'm talking about, baby. But yeah, it's like, you've got also the way there's like a red line that shows up when that happens. I thought bad things were happening just now. I was like, oh, what's happening? And then it's like, okay, they stopped moving. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. Okay, we're cool. We're cool. We can move on. But yeah, like the fact that like Linda Yaccarino is the CEO, he has to be dumb and sitting there thinking that, we're going to sit there and blame her for this. It's like, no, it's you. It's you, Musk. It's you. It's always been you. My secret theory is that Musk is from a small pistol and one of his satellites just to say that he has a space weapon. Stop. Is that the piece that fell down? The piece that fell out of the sky and into that farm? Is that the one? Because they wouldn't say where the piece was going. We're here to claim the piece. The piece of space junk. Wait a second, what came from PayPal just now? Okay, can I point out the fact that I use PayPal to pay for that Twitch subscription, but Amazon itself will not let me use PayPal to pay for shit on Amazon? Amazon, what are we doing? Exactly. That's why they call it a piece of. But yeah, I mean, look, we can look at Linda Yaccarino. We can blame her for stuff too. She is the CEO after all. But again, it's the owner. She still has to answer to him, even though he is the CTO. Amazon can't afford the transaction fees, but Twitch can. But look, that's how Twitch can save money. Get rid of PayPal. Actually, no, please don't, because I mean, yeah, don't. Please don't. And more social media news, in which we'll say, duh, we know this, and this is why the ruling class is doing the things that they're doing. A growing number of Americans are getting their news from TikTok. As TikTok becomes a more popular news source for Americans, young adults increasingly believe the platform exposes them to information they're unlikely to see elsewhere, according to a new survey of Americans' new habits. The survey released Wednesday by the Pew Research Center, also the same people I believe who released a survey saying that Americans do not understand the economy, even though it is good, which again, I will argue it is not, for obvious reasons. I'm streaming at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. on a Thursday. And thankfully, celebrating the fact that I am getting subs to this channel. Very appreciative of the subs of this channel, but this is how I make my money now. This and driving for Uber, as I am an American who's told to go to college to get a degree and then doesn't have a job. Yes, the economy is doing great. Thank you. Thank you, economic pundits in the Biden administration. The survey released Wednesday by Pew Research Center looks at the role major social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, play in America's news diet. According to the survey, TikTok is the second most popular source of news after Twitter, though most TikTok users don't primarily think of the short-form video app as a news source. Most people don't think Twitter is a news source, or at least not, or hopefully not anymore. It was at one point, but yeah, not anymore. Among TikTok users, only 15% say keeping up with the news is a major reason they use the app. So 35% of those surveyed said they wouldn't have seen the news they got on TikTok elsewhere. I wonder what news they could be talking about. And unlike other apps, the news users see on TikTok is just as likely to come from influencers or celebrities as it is from journalists. Or I don't know. I would say not necessarily. Okay, what are we calling an influencer at this point? What about just other people who make content on TikTok? I am not an influencer by any means, but I feel like I could share news. I feel like every so often I share news on TikTok. There are people just in Gaza and in the West Bank, or just just Palestine in general, who are sharing news, but it may not be considered news because it's their fucking life. Oh, I guess. I'm sorry. I didn't read far because it then says, and it's far more likely to come from total strangers. Meanwhile, most Facebook and Instagram users say the news that pops up on their feeds is posted by friends, relatives, or other people they know. On Twitter, users are more likely to see news posted by media outlets or reporters. And it's funny how all those kind of work though, because I feel like on TikTok, while sure, there may be users who are being suppressed, I still feel like the reason why numbers may not be high for certain people is because there are so many people talking about a specific topic, and the way TikTok does its algorithm, that if you really hone in that algorithm, you're going to see a whole bunch of the subject. And because there's so many people talking about the subject, the algorithm will put more people in front of the other. And, you may see some dip in numbers, but also too, TikTok will try to fight it for one reason or another. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's more or less like, hey, this is what we think what we, the social media platform, thinks you want to watch. Not what you want to watch. We did not learn this about you. This is like, hey, maybe tangential to what you are interested in, but it's a conflicting opinion that's supposed to make you do something to this platform to engage with this particular thing, not to just show it to you. But I will still say, honestly, far and away, the place where I get the most news from is Mastodon. Because this is a whole bunch of people who are just mad at the system. And we all agree. We're all mad at the same system. So it's like we're getting more information about the system in which we're mad. And that's an algorithm called echo chamber. But yeah, I mean, with these numbers still, it would show like, yeah, I get my news from Twitch. I guess people would get their news from Twitch, right? But yeah, like with information like, I mean, with numbers like that, you definitely know that the US government, that people in charge have the same data, probably have more granular data that they can look at and say, okay, compared to our traditional outlets, compared to what's being shown on Twitter, compared to what's being shown on TV, on cable outlets, in the newspapers, people are going online. They're going to TikTok, which is coincidentally being run by a Chinese company, and they're getting the real deal information, because you got people who are circumventing our news machine, our political machine, our war machine. We should have never given them phones to distract them from the ills of the world and all the things we were doing, because now they're actually getting the information pure and uncut. We have to get rid of this and restore the status quo. September cannot get here soon enough. All right, back to WWDC news again. Here are the apps that were Sherlocked by Apple during WWDC 2024. And of course, I'm glad this is here, because then I can just read this. If you do not know what Sherlocked means. Oh wait, before I do that, that's the real reason a rich guy bought Twitter, is exactly what you said. They got to get rid of it and restore the status quo. Oh, most definitely. I mean, I still feel like there is that, but also the fact that he was being bullied on that platform and he wanted to shut it down because he was being bullied. And the best way to do it is if he bought it and then banned everybody who was talking bad about him and his companies. Rome built Colosseums, America built iPhones. No, America designed iPhones. The iPhones were built in China. Apple knew what they were doing. They did not want to be legally responsible for saying that iPhones were built in America. So yeah, Sherlocking, what does it mean? If you're not familiar with the term Sherlocking, here's a quick recap. Apple's predecessor to its Spotlight search feature in macOS was known as Sherlock. This would search the Mac and also included a modest amount of web searching capability. Excuse me. A developer called Dan Wood, using the company name Corellia, developed an app called Watson intended to supplement Sherlock by greatly expanding the internet search side of things. It was a highly popular and successful app right up until Mac OS X 10.2, when Apple incorporated everything Watson did right into Sherlock. At that point, there was no longer any reason for anyone to buy Watson. The app had been Sherlocked. It's now used as a term for any app rendered surplus to requirements by an Apple update. This year, apps that were Sherlocked by Apple, Apple's password app Sherlocked 1Password, LastPass, Bitwarden, and Proton Pass. No, it did not. From what I hear, nah, dog, it didn't. And let me tell you something. The reason why, and especially with Bitwarden, I don't know about these others, but hey, I can use Bitwarden on Android and Linux. With Apple passwords, I'm stuck to Mac OS, iOS, iPadOS, and Windows. So, I mean, there's that. Also, I can use Bitwarden on multiple browsers and not just Safari. Or I guess, like, is there even a browser extension for passwords on Windows? Think about that. Hardly Sherlocked on that one. Call recording and transcription, Sherlocked tape a call and Truecaller. Voice transcription and notes, Sherlocked Otter, Audio Pen, and Voice Notes. iPhone mirroring on Mac with Sherlocked bezel. Also, they really should fix this. Why is this comment in like right here in the middle? That's ridiculous. Window tiling on Mac, Sherlocked magnet and rectangle. I mean, you could say that, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. I feel like I've not used magnet in quite some. Well, actually, no, I do use magnet. And probably still will. We'll see. Custom emoji Sherlocked Nuji. Which again, maybe not. Again, if your iPhone can't run Apple Intelligence, you can still use Nuji. I don't. Yeah. What the fuck are we talking about? Custom maps for natural park trails, Sherlocked all trails. But yeah. I don't think that many apps were Sherlocked. But, you know, it still sucks when things like this happen, especially for developers who are doing the right thing, who are making apps and trying to make a living. And then Apple's like, yeah, you know what? We want that now. Goodbye. But also, I feel like, are there also certain things that happen on Windows that we just don't call out? There has to be, right? I mean, doesn't Windows have RGB controls that were, you know, built by a multitude of developers for various RGB products we have in our computers? I don't know. And more Apple news. Apple seems to have persuaded OpenAI to work for exposure. It doesn't have the same weight as Apple doing it. Of course, like the tile trackers. Oops. Let's see. According to Bloomberg, no money has changed hands in the Apple and OpenAI deal. Let's see. According to a new Bloomberg report, nobody paid anybody in that partnership. Apple is reportedly not paying OpenAI because it believes that putting its technology in front of hundreds of millions of users is equal to or even better than any kind of monetary payment. Literally the definition of, hey, doing it for the exposure. Yo, like, what if you did your thing and you put it in front of millions of people? Wouldn't that just be better than us giving you money? Huh? Huh? Like, instead of people having to download your app, what if we just built it into the OS? I would say that was Sherlocking. Apple Sherlocked OpenAI. Apple will take your app, do it in a way that you can't, and then change the tariffs to make what you're doing against the OS. OpenAI better watch out. Apple will use OpenAI's ChatGPT 4.0 model to power AI tests on iOS 18, iPadOS 18, and macOS Sequoia. Siri, for instance, will tap into ChatGPT's capabilities if users ask it to create menu ideas, to summarize articles, or to find photos based on a description of what they contain. But remember, please, I just want people to remember, because it does not seem like this paragraph mentions it. You have to give the iPhone permission to do that. It will not go and do that automatically. It will ask, do you want to send this to ChatGPT? For the love of God, the last thing I need is for Elon Musk to bitch and complain about something he does not know about, because that's all he seems to be really good at. If we are looking at a meritocracy and people that are being good at things getting elevated, sure, we can elevate Elon Musk for being the best at not knowing what the fuck he's talking about. As Bloomberg points out, OpenAI could make money from the deal by convincing Apple users to pay $20 a month for ChatGPT Plus. And if those users sign up on an Apple device, then the iPhone maker will also get a commission. I mean, I feel like that works out for both. I mean, it is still kind of funny that, you know, ChatGPT is just doing this for the exposure, but hey, they could get some money if you want those bonus features with ChatGPT Plus, and you can sit there and do that on, you could upgrade on your iPhone and then give Apple a cut of that. I guess that's great for Apple, great for iPhone, great for Apple users, but not as great for OpenAI. But I'm pretty sure OpenAI is like, man, fuck, we out here with everybody. It don't even matter. Like, we are the top dogs right now. Apple realizes that, sure, with their private compute, their on-device models, they can't compete with us. They still have to come to us. So whatever. I mean, also, there is a thing too where it's like you technically don't have to pay for ChatGPT to use ChatGPT anyway. So is it for exposure, or did they just figure out a way to, again, to just say, hey, here's just an easier way to use free ChatGPT? Man, it's amazing what happens when you talk through something instead of, like, I don't know, maybe writing a reactionary article. Like, if you sat and really think about this, like, well, shit, you weren't really paying for ChatGPT to begin with. This just seems like using the app, but it's just built into Siri now. Yeah, I'm glad I do this show. I am now very glad I do this show because, motherfucker, it just... What are we doing? What are these people doing? Oh, damn it. I forgot that they did this. Netflix has Sherlocked Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Netflix is taking advantage of some high drama in the hot dog eating world with its next live streaming event. A couple of days ago, Joey Chestnut was banned from Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Not sure why that says content, but I mean, here we are. Over his apparent partnership with a plant-based brand. I mean, we could just say Impossible Meats. As pretty much every major news site in the world inexplicably reported. What do you mean inexplicably? Like, there was an explanation for this. There were, like, people like watching the hot dog eating contest. It is nearly time for the hot dog eating contest. If we wanted to tune in to ESPN to watch the hot dog eating contest that is being hosted by Nathan's on July 4th at Coney Island, we're going to talk about it. That's a thing that we talk about. That is something my wife is really excited for. I used to be, but then it's just, again, even as a fat guy, I still cannot really watch people doing it, but I will do it for the morbid curiosity. But people care. When I saw the news, I knew that was something my wife wanted to know. And she asked follow-up questions, but I saw the news on my Apple Watch and it just only told me that he got banned because of being sponsored by a competitor. I'm like, who, Ballpark? ChatGPT has millions of users who will go to them if they like AI and want more than what Apple provides. Exactly. And it essentially a captive audience until they integrate with more third parties. So cue Netflix, which leaped in with its own Frank eating event called Chestnut versus Kobayashi Unfinished Beef. Set to be live streamed on Monday, September 2nd. It features two of the best known, only known for most people, hot dog eating personalities in the form of Chestnut 40 and Takeru Kobayashi 46, with the latter coming out of semi-retirement for the occasion. Didn't have hot dog drama on my bingo card. Well, okay, so I do follow this more than a lot of things. It's not a lot, but yeah, I do know that Kobayashi, like Chestnut and Kobayashi were going toe to toe for a few years, but Kobayashi was banned almost over 20 years ago for reasons. I can't remember why. I can't remember why he was banned. I saw somewhere why, and it may even be in this article, but he technically retired. But no, it's just that he was banned. He really has not competed, and Chestnut has just been the undisputed champion since then. But yeah, now Chestnut's being banned because of him being being partnered with Impossible Meats, which is like, and Impossible is like, yeah, we're not stopping him from competing. He can eat whatever the fuck he wants. He can compete wherever the fuck he wants. But Nathan's like, nah, fuck that plant-based shit, nigga. Like, nah, just no. Through all of my years of competitive eating, Kobayashi stands out as my fiercest rival. Retiring for me will only happen after I take him down one last time. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Those are two quotes. Chestnut said, through all of my years of competitive eating, Kobayashi stands out as my fiercest rival, with Kobayashi saying, retiring for me will only happen after I take him down one last time. Chestnut won 16 of the 17 last 17 Nathan hot dogs eating contest and holds the all-time record with 76 hot dogs and buns eaten set in 2021. Kobayashi, meanwhile, is known as the, quote, father of competitive eating and won the Nathan's event 6 consecutive times. At one point, he was also banned from that event for non-vegan hot dog reasons. Now I want to know, what was he banned for? Oh, that shows a contract dispute. Also, I love the fact like Chestnut has chosen to represent a rival brand, but it's like, I mean, I feel like Ballpark Franks, Oscar Mayer would be rival brands to Nathan's hot dogs, even though like compared to all of the hot dog makers in the world, I still stand with Nathan's. Father of competitive eating, he didn't grow up in my household. Wow, it seems that Joey and his managers have prioritized a new partnership with a different hot dog brand over our long-time relationship. Really? Oh my God, Nathan, stop being little petty bitches. Let him compete. But yeah, I guess another reason to own or to be subscribed to Netflix, which is a thing I am ashamed to say, but also it's not my money. So, Who's ready for some gaming news though? That's right. DDR7 memory is coming out in early 2025. SK Hynix, one of the big three memory manufacturers alongside Samsung and Micron, says it will be ready to mass produce GDDR7 modules beginning in the first quarter of 2025. That is according to Anantech while they were at Computex. They showed off 16 and 25 gigabyte module capacities with 40 gigabit per second or 40 giga transfer speed and 160 gigabyte per second bandwidth. That's approximately double the speed of GDDR6 modules in current graphics cards. Samsung and Micron are both on even faster timelines, reportedly planning to get GDDR7 modules out of the door before the end of this year. That means that new graphics cards, or at least the most powerful and most expensive of new models, could have the new GDDR7 memory in place and ready for store shelves as soon as mid-2025. So who is ready for the RTX 57, the 50 series cards next year? Which I imagine will probably be announced at CES 2025. Even though here it says NVIDIA could probably keep selling its current high-end chips and the current ones, and then wait, I'm confused. What are you saying? I'm not sure. Are they saying that they're going to put the higher rank, like the DDR7 in AI data centers and not in the graphics cards? We'll find out. But yep, faster memory is coming, whether that is for your games or for your AI. Time to get faster VRAM. It seems like more of it too. Well, I don't know. Like we're up to like 32 gigs of VRAM at this point, right? Or is it still 24? Like I can remember 24, but I feel like there is something higher than 24 gigs of VRAM in a graphics card right now. But even then, I feel like it may not matter as much because I mean, if the transfer speed is a lot faster, then it's like it doesn't like, I mean, sure, having more of it will be great, but if it moves faster, we can just move that data in and out and be able to still get higher performance even with the same amount of storage. 24 is the highest for consumer cards. Okay. Bethesda is charging $7 for a new Starfield mission and players are upset. I would ask, why would they be upset? I mean, don't you pay for DLC all the time? But again, it's for one mission. Let's see, in a June update video posted on the studio's official YouTube channel, Bethesda announced that players could download a new series of missions. Oh, it's a series of missions for a group known as the Track Alliance. The problem is that the Vulture is the second mission. Oh, it's the second mission in the Track Alliance and it costs $7 to buy. So the new missions are free, but there is one mission in the series of missions that you have. Okay, yeah, that's fucked up. But it actually costs players $10 because they must purchase 1,000 Starfield creation credits to afford it. Yeah, that's not great. They should not have done that. Why did they do that? That's not cool. The Xbox June update is out now, and here's what it does. I probably should update my Xbox. Let's see here. The June update. Oh wait. First off, the update gives players more personalization options for their backgrounds. Players previously had to choose if they wanted a dynamic background or game art when hovering over a title. But with this new update, users have both options available at the same time. You can find this new option by navigating settings, general personalizations, my background, show selected game art. Additionally, a new setting allows players to change the color of their dynamic background without changing their default profile color. The June update also makes changes to wireless settings with the aim of making it easier to switch between Wi-Fi networks if you need to do that. Like in the event you bring your Xbox on a trip, your Xbox can now remember up to 10 networks and you can now connect them without inputting a password again. I like that. As again, this is great for people who are going out to LANs, who are going to friends' houses, bringing their Xboxes, or even those who use their Xbox at conventions like I do. I use my Xbox everywhere. And being able to just sign into a wireless network once and just be able to pick it up, take it, and just take it to these locations I frequent and not have to worry about inputting a wireless password. That is an awesome feature. I like that. And that alone will make me want to update my Xbox. Additionally, this new update allows users to manage their subscriptions directly from the Xbox instead of outside the console platform. Microsoft also noted that users might see experimental features in June, including different Game Pass, page layout styles, more information in search card results, and the ability to find specific people using search. Xbox wireless controller is also getting a new firmware update this June. Specifically, the Xbox adaptive controller now has support for additional USB accessories, with each port now supporting up to 12 buttons along with a second stick and a hat switch. You love to see it. More accessibility. That's what we want. For the Xbox app on PC, the June update introduces a new Game Pass sub-navigation menu that makes it easier to browse to the catalog. In terms of cloud gaming changes, players can now self-manage game data and cloud saves to help out in situations like troubleshooting corrupted save data or resetting a game to its original state for anyone who wants to start a game over. Finally, mouse and keyboard support for cloud gaming is now available for all players following a testing period. So good on Xbox. Those are some updates you love to see. But they're not the only console maker. It's not the only console that's getting an update. Of course, we know the Switch got one a couple of days ago to remove Twitter. Excuse me, PlayStation is adding the ability to join Discord calls from the system. Sony is rolling out the ability to join Discord calls from your PlayStation 5 without relying on the service's PC or mobile apps. This means you can now use the Discord tab in the PS5 Control Center to access a Discord server or DM group directly, and from there pick from the available voice channels to join. You might not see the option available today. Sony says it's rolling out first. It is rolling out first in Japan, before Europe, Australia, New Zealand, the Middle East, and finally the Americas in the coming weeks. And of course, you can see how that all looks in the video below. Damn, Gary, what you do? So it's kind of a bummer that it's not going to be out initially over here in the States, but hey, I mean, we get everything else first, or do we? One other new feature coming to the PS5 from this week is the ability to share your PSN profile to quickly connect with others. You can generate a shareable link from your console or the PlayStation app and then send it to a friend via any other messaging service, but not Twitter. I mean, if you're on your phone, you probably could share it through Twitter, but not on the app. I mean, not on PlayStation. Sorry. Lord, am I looking at another gotcha video? No clue about Quran, Bible, and history, but free Palestine. Yeah, I feel like that doesn't matter. Yeah, like, I mean, granted, I know the history. Just gonna put that out there. I know the history. Proton.9.0-2. Jeez. Proton 9. Try this again. Proton 9.0-2 brings better controller support to launchers, more playable games, and lots of bug fixes. Valve just released the latest stable update to Proton, the compatibility layer for running Windows games on Linux desktops and Steam Deck with Proton 9.0-2, bringing some fun additions. This will just show up in your Steam downloads as an update to Proton 9 if you have it installed. Otherwise, just search for Proton 9 in your Steam library, not the store, to install it. Okay, apparently that update to PhantomBot did not fix it, but hello, you will have turned into status where I'm playing game. Also, that could just be the text version, not the variable version. Previously playable only with Proton Experimental is Alpha League, Battlezone Gold Edition in VR mode, Black Desert Online, Freestyle Football R, Helldivers 2, Heroes Land, Iragon, SimCity 3000 Unlimited, Warlords, Battlecry 3. Enable controller support via Xalia in the launches of Cluster Truck, Fallout 3 Standard and Game of the Year Edition, partial support only, Fallout 4, Mugsters, Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim 72850, Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Special Edition, Tomb Raider Anniversary, and Tomb Raider Legend. Limited number of cores seen by the following games, making them playable on a high core count, CPUs: Call of Juarez, Gunslinger, and Command and Conquer, and the Covert Operations. And boy, there are a bunch of other bug fixes, which I am not going to go through. But hey, if this tickles your fancy, go for it. Of course, when I shared this article, I said, hey, this might be cool for when I go back to Linux eventually. People again have asked, why am I not using it now? Eventually I will check it out again. I might install Linux on an external drive and see what that looks like instead of like wiping a drive out. Tell them to mind their own business. Look, no, it's an understandable question. Again, as somebody who is touting themselves as major Linux, only we can criticize you. Look, eventually I'll get back to it. Right now, though, there is a workflow problem that I have to work out, and I feel like I do not have the time right now to do that. Eventually I will get to it. Get you an AMD card and Linux gaming works out of the box. I mean, I would say I have a computer that would more than accept an AMD card. Yet I don't have any. Oh wait, shit. Well, it's gonna wait. I'm still waiting on a guy, a friend of mine, to finish building his PC. He says he's going to give up my AMD RX 480, and then I might have a graphics card to use. The only card I have right now that I can just toss around is a GTX 1050 that I got from Anka. Armello, Jumplight Odyssey Studio, League of Geeks going into quote hibernation following layoffs. We're not sure when or if we will resurrect this great beast. League of Geeks, the studio behind Armello, Jumplight Odyssey, and Solium Infernum, has announced it's going into hibernation for the foreseeable future following its decision to cut 50% of its workforce at the end of last year. Excuse me. Back in December, the studio said it had been affected by a combination of rapidly rising operations costs, worsening AUD or Australian dollar, US dollar exchange rate, poor early access sales of Starship Management Sim, Jumplight Odyssey, and the unprecedented withdrawal of funding opportunities across the industry. Alongside layoffs at the studio, it confirmed development of Jumplight Odyssey would be paused indefinitely. Wait a second. Wait, hold on. I remember me saying something about this game, Jumplight Odyssey. Give me 1 second, because I believe it is still available. Damn it. Yeah, I'm still going to have to wait. I'm still going to have to wait on it. But yeah, I do want to buy this game so that way I can kind of help them. And maybe like, hey, if I put in money into studio, maybe they will come out and do the thing. But yeah, like it. Diogen appears almost at the end of the show. What's up, Diogen? VR chat server, VR chat severs 30% of team. We need more time and runway to execute. VR chat let go 30% of its team and promise at least 12 weeks of severance for departing. Okay, good choice. That's awesome. The CEO of VR Chat, Graham Gaylor, suggested in an email posted to the company's forums that recent management changes have set up the company for success over the next 5 years. We're in a good cash position, but to execute effectively on our 5-year strategy, we need an extended runway with line of sight to profitability. Okay, you know what? Cool. You gave them severance, but yeah, see, this business jargony talk just makes me feel disgusting. The current fundraising environment is tough and we'll likely struggle to fundraise without greatly improved metrics. To take control of our own destiny and not solely depend on market-driven outside investment, we're placing an emphasis on capital efficiency to ensure VR Chat thrives. The email notes up to 6 months of healthcare coverage for those who are eligible, as well as 12 weeks of severance for all departing team members, and an additional 2 weeks for every year of tenure beyond 3 years, and an additional 3 weeks beyond 5 years. Okay, that's not bad. At least like say, hey, we got the cash, and we'll at least take care of you for a bit. That's more than what I hear from other companies. But then I'm also wondering if other companies just aren't sharing this data or sharing this information. In addition to email notes, we'll support departing team members with a few VR Chat specific perks. That's a lifetime subscription to VR Chat Plus, as well as an alumni badge in VR Chat. and reduce VR chat transaction fees for any purchases made from your store. I don't know. It's like, it sounds good, but then it just sounds bad at the same time. It's like, hey, we'll pay you severance and health insurance, but you know, hey, we got to keep this money to keep the company running. You understand? But look, hey, if you've been here for a while, we'll definitely take care of you with discounts to the store. If you lay me off, I'm never logging into your site. Like, it's that thing. Like, it seems like, look, we know you love our shit so much. You gonna be here from the long term, baby. So we're gonna make sure you stay here. You a ride or die, right? Fuck out of here. Well, that's all the news from yesterday and this morning. Let's check and see if anything else has happened since the stream's been going on. We got 46 stories. Let's take a look. Of course, Polygon is already repeating something that we've known for a while. 2024 has already had more video game industry layoffs than all of 2023, and it's just June. Yeah, that's been a thing since like May. You're a month late, Polygon. Thank you for now getting into this. We already knew. Chrome OS will embrace more Android for more AI features faster. Okay. Framework laptop 16 is now even more moddable via 3D printing. Okay. Fans' reaction to a $450 League of Legends skin is justified. Why? Why sell that? I don't understand. Oh, what? Here's how Apple's AI model tries to... Oh, wait, it's not how it trains it, but it's how it is to keep it private. I did look at a blog post they put out. Let's see here. The privacy is possible thanks to a twofold approach to generative AI that Apple started to explain in its keynote and offer more details on it in papers and presentations afterwards. They show that Apple Intelligence is built with an on-device philosophy that can do the common AI tasks users want fast, like transcribing calls and organizing their schedules. However, Apple Intelligence can also reach out to cloud service for more complex AI requests that include sending personal context data and making sure that both deliver good results while keeping your data private is where Apple focused its efforts. The big news is that Apple is using its own homemade AI models for Apple Intelligence. Apple notes that it doesn't train its models with private data or user interactions, which is unique compared to other companies. Apple instead uses both licensed material and publicly available online data that are scraped by the company's Applebot web crawler. Publishers must opt out if they don't want their data ingested by Apple, which sounds similar to policies from Google and OpenAI. Apple also says it omits feeding social security and credit card numbers that are floating online and ignores profanity and other low quality content. I feel like I've read that before. Oh, they ignore profanity and low level content. I have nothing to worry about. Exactly. Nothing to worry about. Although, man, all those articles I wrote, all those articles where I have refrained for the most part saying profane things. Maybe they'll think all of my talks of socialism and class consciousness are like low quality content. A big selling point for Apple Intelligence is its deep integration into Apple's operating systems and apps, as well as how the company optimizes its models for power, efficiency, and size to fit on iPhones. Keeping AI requests local is key to quelling many privacy concerns, but the trade-off is using smaller and less capable models on device. To make those local models useful, Apple employs fine-tuning, which trains models to make them better at specific tasks like proofreading or summarizing text. The skills are put into the form of adapters, which can be laid onto the foundation model and swapped out for the task at hand, similar to applying power-up attributes for your character in a role-playing game. Thank you for just like bringing gamers into this equation. Similarly, Apple's diffusion model for image playground and Gmoji also uses adapters to get different art styles like illustration or animation, which makes people and pets look like cheap Pixar characters. The approach is similar to what we're seeing in the Windows world. Intel launched its 14th generation Meteor Lake architecture featuring a chip with an NPU, and Qualcomm's new Snapdragon X chips built for Microsoft's Copilot Plus PCs have them too. As a result, many AI features on Windows are gated to new devices that can perform work locally on these chips. But the difference between Microsoft and Microsoft and Apple in this case is the fact that Apple actually has a thing to use whatever, like these AI models and whatever Apple has to run the models. Whereas Microsoft has said, hey, could you make NPUs for our operating system, and then really doesn't have anything. I mean, there's Copilot. Well, okay, maybe they do. I forgot they do have recall, but then again, like I wonder what else Microsoft is going to apply. I mean, going to apply to Windows. That's going to be on device. Like the only thing I've heard them shout out, or maybe the only thing I've heard other people kind of bitch and complain about is recall. Maybe there are other things that I am just not aware of. So there's that. Let's see. If a user request needs a more capable AI model, Apple sends the request to its private cloud compute servers. PCC runs on its own OS based on iOS foundations, and it has its own machine learning stack that powers Apple Intelligence. According to Apple, PCC has its own secure boot and secure enclave to hold encryption keys that only work with the requesting device, and trust execution monitor. Make sure only signed and verified code runs. I figure that they will do all the things Apple is doing eventually. That's what I'm thinking too, but it's like, hey, Apple already made the things that were going to enable their AI, their generative AI, on top of the fact that, hey, we have generative AI that will do things on device. Whereas like Microsoft's like, oh yeah, we should totally get people to make these things for our system. And then what are we going to put on it? What are we going to put on it? Apple says the user's device creates an end-to-end encrypted connection to a PCC cluster before sending the request. Apple says it cannot access data in the PCC since it's stripped of server management tools, so there's no remote shell. How do you fix it if it's broken? Apple also doesn't give the PCC any persistent storage, so requests and possible personal context data pulled from Apple's intelligent semantic index apparently get deleted on the cloud afterwards. So these just like computers that are just like running in memory constantly? Like I would like to really understand how they are doing this, but yeah, maybe I do need to go get that damn master's degree. Maybe I can just get like a master's degree, focus on AI, and actually I just want to understand this shit now. Each build of PCC will have a virtual build that the public or researchers can inspect, and only signed builds that are logged as inspected will go into production. Well, I mean, yeah, that's more information. Like Apple is really sort of trying to answer a whole bunch of questions for people who are concerned about AI. Like, honestly, and again, like with the bar being in hell for a lot of this shit, it doesn't seem like, I mean, granted, Apple is doing a lot. They are doing a lot more than other companies are when it comes to educating people on what's actually happening behind the scenes. Like, as much as AI tends to be a black box of things, like, look, things are in there and we put things in there and other things come out. We don't know what's happening. I'm pretty sure it is the same thing for fucking Apple, but like they are trying to be as descript as possible about the process that goes into communicating with that black box, like going with data going in and data going out, and how they control like how the black box is being used. So I mean, it's that thing of like, trust this with a grain of salt. But I don't know. It seems like Apple is still providing more information. Like, a couple of hand claps for Apple, but yeah, just it's honestly just looking around and say, hey, y'all do better. And I'm pretty sure this may also feed into why OpenAI is doing this for the exposure. Cause like, shit, we can't do what they do when it comes to security. You know what? If they do it for us, cool. Wow, cops released a car's travel history to a total stranger. That's fun. Wait, Wayne County. Oh, that's Ohio. I was at Wayne County. I'm gonna need. Look, that's close. That's danger close. Ex-GTA producers game creation project everywhere gets closed beta next week. I'm gonna hold on to that. Ark Survival Ascendant is the worst optimized Unreal Engine 5 game we've seen on console. Yikes. Stop doing that. Hold on to that. Oh, because this is correcting. This article seems to be correcting the whole thing where, like, hey, this remote Amazonian tribe has had access to the internet for a minute. They have not just experienced it for the first time and then immediately got addicted to porn, as people have been reporting. Yeah, if only the people on the internet were not so reactionary. But hey, that's the internet. How to turn off Windows aging activity tracker. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot that timeline thing was a thing. Well, hang on. We've had this addiction for years. Look, it's like, yeah, we've had this addiction for a minute. Look, we just now have more readily available access to this addiction. Hey, if you're looking for a new, better, and cheap graphics card, ASRock's RX 6500 XT now comes in an 8GB version. Let's see. Oh, with 2 HDMI ports. That's not bad. I think they got Amazon trials confused with Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. Stop. Let's see. Azanzo is now on Game Pass. PlayStation Hero, Aloy, and Smash Brothers. I'd play that. But that just means too, like, I don't know, bring back PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. You're gonna have more characters to choose from than you did last time. Cyber, what the? I really wonder if Elon Musk is just like stuck in like the 90s at this point. Like, given the article about the sexual harassment, and now the Cyber Roundup 2024 is like, what makes a good case? I don't know who Nazim is and why this dude wants to kill him every day until Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, but have fun with that. Wait, what? Maybe I need to play Citizen Sleeper. Like, yeah, I need to play more video games to get these kind of connections. Like, what in the hell did Citizen Sleeper have to do with Mass Effect? But okay. Audiobooks are a Spotify scam to cheat consumers and musicians, say music labels. Please, I have to know more. This one, no, I gotta click into it. Including audiobooks in the premium tier is nothing more than a Spotify scam, say music publishers intended to cheat consumers and music labels alike. They say the sole purpose of adding audiobooks into the subscription was to find an excuse for charging customers more while paying music labels less. Here's what Spotify did. The complaint may solve a mystery we raised last year. Let's start with a quick recap. Spotify Premium charges for music without ads and pays a royalty to music labels. The company last year started including some audiobook listening. It later offered an audiobook only tier for just $1 less. It subsequently increased the cost of Spotify Premium. We covered the audiobook news at the time in a piece entitled Spotify Audiobooks now available in standalone $9.99 tier, but nobody knows why. But music labels say they now know the reason. The National Music Publishers Association, NMPA, has made a formal complaint to the Federal Trade Commission. First, it says consumers were scammed. Spotify has deceived consumers by converting millions of its subscribers without their consent from music-only subscriptions into bundle audiobook and music subscriptions, publicly announcing increased prices for those subscriptions, failing to offer an option for subscribers to revert to a music-only subscription. Second, it says Spotify is also cheating music labels and thus artists and composers. Spotify now pays significantly less in royalties to music publishers and songwriters under the assertion that its premium plan subscribers are all paying for a bundled content subscription, and the audiobooks comprise a valuable aspect of that subscription. In fact, Spotify will pay approximately $150 million less in music royalties during the first year that the new bundled premium plans are in effect than what it previously paid in royalties for music-only premium plan subscriptions. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, Spotify and other companies that are allowing you to stream music, very scummy, but also I do not feel any sympathy for the music industry. It's at a point now where it's like you look at things like cyberpunk or anything like cyberpunk related, like the nebulous term for like a future society or whatever, not the game not the game. Yeah, oh no, somebody think of the labels. But yeah, it's like you think about like the dystopia future where it's like, oh no, the corporate wars is like, yeah, I could see like Verge. I know you did not like that idea of the Civil War that I proposed, but what could I sell you on the corporate wars instead? How does that make you feel? Instead of fighting in the Civil War, you fight in the corporate wars. Taco Bell was the only survivor of the fast food wars. That's still a civil war. Ah! Taco Bell is the only survivor. Now they're just like fast casual places. Or at least that's what Apple and not Apple, but McDonald's and Wendy's is trying to turn themselves into. There's a files upgrade? Oh, I want to know about a files upgrade. Tell me about it. For years, the Files app has provided an iCloud-first approach to file management. I think that's a good thing. While you can store files locally on your device, in our multi-platform computing world, it's helpful to keep everything in iCloud so you can access your data on any device and have assurance that it will live on, even if tragedy strikes your device. What about something other than iCloud? What about a more, platform agnostic cloud? But, I digress. The biggest issue I've encountered with this approach has to do with file downloads. I keep my files in iCloud, but you have long been able to manually download files on demand. The problem is Apple intelligently decides which files can remain stored in local cache and will make decisions to remove certain downloads without telling you. So when you need to access a given file, say on an airplane with no connection, you might find that the file has been sent back to the cloud and is no longer available. iPadOS 18 changes that. Yeah, I would assume that anything I put on my iPad, like in the directory on my iPad or on my iPhone, would stay on my fucking device. That's the reason why I put it there. I very rarely keep things in the cloud because the thing I'm working on, I want to be on that device. Granted, sure, maybe I would like it on my iPhone or my Mac one day. I don't know. Also, wait a second. Now that I think about it, can I go back to iCloud and try to get access to to those notes? Oh no, hey, there it goes. The data request. Look at there, it works now. So yes, when I was talking about handwriting the other day, this is what I'm talking about. This is my actual handwriting now. Maybe on a piece of paper, it will look different. But when writing on my iPad, this is what my handwriting looks like. That's not what I wanted. Make that go away. Okay. I was hoping that I could add lines to it, but apparently lines don't show up. But yeah. Yeah, so this is me taking notes for a teaching I was at for Palestine, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was at a teaching, like the book that I am reading, it has a lot of this information. Like, I met the book author a couple of weeks ago. I met the book author a couple of weeks ago. Like I'm doing the fucking work. Like that's. Like I told myself, look, I got time. I have fucking time now. And for somebody who said, like, look, read history. Okay, motherfucker, what's up? What it do? And there's more. There's more of this. Like, I mean, what do you want? What do you want from me? Yes, it's like, look, don't play with me. Don't fucking play with me, dog. I've done the reading. Oh yes, that's my president right there. As an ivory tower academic, this warms my heart. I think and again, like, that's why I'm so excited about that, like that script thing, whatever they call it, where it's like, makes your handwriting more legible. Like, it's like they realize writing on glass is different than writing on paper. And like, I have a screen protector. I have like a screen protector or whatever. I don't know if it's a screen protector, but it's like a layer on top of my glass that gives that gives my iPad kind of a paper texture, but it's still smoother than paper. It's still smoother than putting pen to paper. So like for me, I can still, like, I'm still scribbling really, really fast. You can, like, sure, you can read it right there. You can see that I wrote Palestine, I wrote people's names, I wrote Zionism, I wrote Israel, I wrote those things. And it's me sitting there trying to be super careful, but at a certain time, like, at a certain point, when I'm like getting like at the bottom of the screen, the death I note. Bibi Netanyahu. Delete. Oh man. Oh man. Now I know what my I need to write that down. I'm gonna write that down somewhere. I know what my thumbnail is gonna be for today's show. Today's thumbnail. Death Note. The Death Note cover on iPad. Oh boy. Thank you. Thank you. And I need to see if I can find a picture of an iPad. Even if I take a picture of my iPad with the pencil. Oh shit, yeah, actually that would be the best thing. I find a picture of a Death Note, put it, just load it up as the picture on my iPad to take a picture of my iPad. That way I own that image and I don't have to worry about how it's being used. Nope, we don't even need generative AI. I could just do it myself using my own fucking iPad. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's see. Let's keep on going. Proton Drive gets advanced sharing options built on end-to-end encryption. iPadOS 18's new tab bar for apps is more powerful than it first appears. GOP candidate claims incest arrangement audio is a deepfake meant to smear him. Oh my God. What the fuck, bro? Why have we not reined this shit in? Let's see, get 3 months. Ooh. I'm gonna save this for later because I am definitely gonna need this in a bit. My wife said, hey, use some of that money to pay off some of your bills in advance. Cool. Buying 3 months of Game Pass for $35. That seems like paying a bill off in advance. Rocket Accelerator opens. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Oh, look. Air tags are on sale. Because tile. No, not really, but I mean. You also get Anchor's Bluetooth tags. Made by Eufy. The Apple Pencil's on sale for your Death Eye Note. Let's see. And that looks like that. That's it. We've done it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the news that's fit to stream. And just in time for lunch. I think I might treat myself to something delicious because we don't have any cheese here for these meatballs. I'm not gonna eat my meatballs without cheese. I would do some DoorDash. That's expensive. And I don't feel like going to the restaurant that I was going to order from DoorDash. So I might just go to another restaurant. Give me a nice big sub sandwich. It sounds fucking delicious. Oh yeah, so I thought my more in life things that are happening. I thought my tire sensor was going shit, but I did use my air pump. That a lot of these air pumps out now that they make have like the digital sensors that will tell you how much air is in a tire. You can set it to say, hey, pump to this air pressure, and it just does it automatically. This is the second one that I have. I don't know where my first one went, and I bought the second one when I knew where my first one was. But I don't know where the first one is. This one's a little bit, the one I have now is a little bit bigger, and requires me having to plug it into the car. But also, I remembered something about that air pump. That air pump was the last piece of tech that I bought. And it was nice to be able to use it for the first time. I bought that thing just in case, never, like, it was the thing that I bought. So, hey, whenever I need an air pump, I'll have it. It's a bigger one. It's got more attachments. I can do things with it. It's a little bit more capable than the thing that I have now, or the thing I had earlier. But of course, like, it kind of went to shit because the package arrived right when things were getting really weird with my job. And then when I lost it, like I had the box, it was sitting in here, and it's like, it was just there. So I remembered, I took the box, took it into the office for a bit, and then ultimately I was like, I have to open this to see what this is. I have to get over the shit that's going on with my job and open it. Finally opened it, played around with it for a little bit. But yeah, yesterday was the first time I actually used that thing, and it was okay. Yeah, this thing is cool. I'm glad I bought it. It sucks that this reminds me of what happened, because it was the last thing I ever bought. It was the last piece of tech that I ever bought. But yeah, I was glad to use it. I was definitely glad to be able to use it. Still not sure if there's any more tech that's going to be bought with the stuff. I mean, with the money. Again, like, I had a realization last night that I've been given about that amount of money before, and even with trying to hold off and only spend money on things that I would need, after a while that money does dry up. But hopefully, like, not having to travel as much. Like, I have a feeling I'm gonna have to go back out to Virginia again for more signature collection. Hopefully I can still hold on to as much as I can. And then, like I said, I wasn't going to do Uber, but no, I'm going to try to do Uber to kind of still keep that money in my pocket for as long as I can. Always seems like there is a hole in my wallet. Like, where did this money go? And that's the thing. It's like, cause like, I was going to buy a game. And the thing is, like, on the stream, I was going to buy a game, and I realized, like, no, I really do need to hold this because this money will fucking disappear. This money will disappear, and I will feel guilty about like a $20 or $30 game that I bought, because it's, Diogen, do not get me wrong. That's what I've been doing. And like, luckily for me too, again, thanks to the amazing community here, whether it's through the subs, whether it's through, direct donations through people, or even like people gifting me games. Like, again, shout out to everybody who's helped out in this past year and some change. I've been able to play a lot of the backlog, but also play some good games, like good recent titles. Like, again, like, for some reason, I am still playing Horizon Forbidden West. That game came out in October. Here it is fucking June, and I'm still playing it. Granted, there are stretches of time when I don't play it. But yeah, like, I've put like over 100 hours into that game because I just fucking love it. I love being in that world, and it's been kind of that great distraction. But yeah, like, there's definitely plenty of backlog. Like, before Horizon was available, I was playing Saints Row, the reboot. Like, not to mention the fact that, like, Epic is giving away 1 to 2 games a month or a week. Actually, that's about the only place where I'm getting free games. But also Game Pass. So yeah, like, I'm not in a dearth. Like, I'm not sure if dearth is. I'm not wanting 4 games because I know I have a shit ton of games I want to go back and play. Like now that I'm more head stable, I've been going back and trying Control. Like, granted, that game creeped me the fuck out. And it's like I own like 2 to 3 copies of that game because they were just given to me for free through various platforms. And it's like things like, oh, this is like the benchmark for ray tracing. Like back when ray tracing was introduced. And it's like, yeah, I own the game. I could check out ray tracing. I now have this 3080 Ti, and that was a really big thing. It's like, hey, cool, I got this 3080 Ti. I can do ray tracing now. And it's like the game that would show it off, Control. I don't know if I want to play that. And I really don't have anything else. Like, Control was that only ray tracing game that I owned at the time. And I was like, do I really want to play that game? And now I do. But yeah. Yeah, again, another long-winded to say that, yes, I am playing the backlog, but again, also very appreciative to those that are helping out, keeping things afloat, keeping things, just going barely for not only Major's House and the division of smaller companies and ventures that I'm doing under that umbrella, but just for me personally. It's been a pleasure, like being able to afford food, gas, medicine. It's been very, very helpful. And again, it's just something I thank everybody who's been here and supporting. But yeah, that's it for me. I've got things I have to do today again, because you think you got time, but you don't. I am planning on tomorrow because I have class again, where you see I take notes. I have class, so one, I have to go through and do some reading for that. I have to watch a video for that. But because of class on Friday, and because I don't normally do news streams on Friday, I actually might come back and finish the Steam Next Fest list. Because I've been trying to put them on the Steam Deck to play them, but I've not found time to do that. Like, not even to download them to the Steam Deck. Because I've been trying to do 50 million other things. Like yesterday, I had to take my son and meet my sister, so that he can go on to Florida, which, by the way, I need to call him. He should be there by now. I need to call and see how they're doing. Then I had to get some stuff ready for a meeting. Actually got some extra time yesterday because my therapy appointment had to get rescheduled, but now that's today. So now I've got shit I got to do before 5 p.m. today. And then an hour to kind of relax before, or 2 hours to relax before Tech Talk Thursdays, which is happening tonight, which also means I got to get the topic list ready for tonight and sent over to the fellas. So yeah, a lot of work that's happening, but eventually we should be able to die down before, all that work should be able to die down. Should have some free time Friday, to play some games, stream that, and class, and then hey, I can relax before I have to go out into the sweltering heat for both a retro gaming event and another rally in March. So and then hopefully Sunday I can relax for Father's Day. I was thinking about driving Sunday. I was like, no, that's Father's Day. That's stupid. Why would I do that? Anywho, thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Tech Talk today for June 13th, 2024. It has been a pleasure. Of course, y'all could have been watching any stream in the world, could have been playing. You could have been anywhere in the world watching any stream in the world. You could have been reading the tech and gaming news yourself, but no, you wanted to see how inept of a person Elon Musk is. And every time I will be more than happy to share that with you. And thank you for trusting me as that invaluable source to tell you how much of a shithead person that Elon Musk is. With all that being said, all I have left to say to you is that nobody is going to protect us but us. I love you. And peace out.
Y'all still here? Anywho, thank you so much for tuning in to another video. Really do appreciate it. Of course, if you like the content that you just saw, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that the YouTubers ask you to do. I guess that includes me now. Anywho, yes, like, comment, subscribe. Really do appreciate it. Support the channel over Patreon, PayPal, whatever. Check out the links in the video. To anything else I might be pushing, hawking, I don't know. Did I sell out by now? I recorded this ages ago. Have I sold out? Let me know. But until then, I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.